right, number 5. What is Ag?
Silver.
So you write silver. All right, O is oxide. All right, silver oxide. And does silver need a Roman number? No. So silver oxide and you're done. All right, and the last one. CO is cobalt. NO2 is nitrite. Okay? It has the ITE ending. There are 2 NOs on your oxidation sheet. One is NO3, one is NO2. NO3 has an ATE ending. You want the one that is NO2, so you want the ITE ending. All right? It has a 3 here. Does cobalt need a Roman number? Yes. When you look up cobalt, there's multiple numbers listed, so it has to have a Roman number, and it would have Roman number 3. Okay? Questions? Now, I have one more naming sheet I am going to give you for homework this weekend, and we will go over those on Monday since you don't test until Tuesday. Okay? Now, answers to the CFA.
Students, I just want to congratulate you on your behavior in the Black History Assembly. I also want to give a special thanks to Mr. Kinzer, who was the orchestrator of all of that and designed the transitions. And him and Ms. Harvey have worked so arduously together, putting this program together, and the students that were on stage, commendable, did a fabulous job. We want to celebrate their efforts. I also want to let the students know that we've had quite a few interruptions this week with no bell systems, and I think we need to get back to just a sense of normalcy. And with that said, there will not be a pep rally this afternoon. However, we will be changing the date to give them more time to properly prepare for this. So just wanted to let you know that there will not be a pep rally this afternoon, but we will change that date. You guys more than deserve a pep rally with all the things that we've gone through. Now, this last message is for those that sometimes when we don't have intercom systems in the morning, we forget that we need to do the pledge in the morning. We forget that announcements are so very important. We're going to resume those things. But let's get back into the way that we do things here at Lexington Senior High School. Remember, we'll start the pledge. Make sure you are standing for that. Make sure that you are wearing your SMOD every day. Make sure you're not using your cell phones in the classroom, respecting your teachers fully. We have a big game tonight, Thomasville. Those students who have been in ISS, those students will not be able to attend the Thomasville game. Mr. Mumford will be getting with them individually. If you've had a full day of ISS, you will not be able to attend that game. So Mr. Mumford will be getting with you today individually to discuss that situation and hear any appeals that you might have. Last thing, we have a few students who are participating in some fun, just a little bit at the expense of our staff members. I understand there's a few posts out there about staff members and maybe even some of their family members, children. Those things are absolutely unacceptable. I am going to contact the police department when I hang this intercom up and have them to investigate. So those people that are participating in those things might be no harm intended, but without the permission of the teachers and their families, you have no right to exploit them in those ways. So I'm going to ask you to immediately remove those or risk the chance of being in the office with the police. So I'll give you a minute to get that done before I contact Officer Chappleton. Thank you. Let's have a wonderful rest of the day, a great game tonight, and a blessed weekend.
Yeah, that was fun. Yeah, that was absolutely fun. It's so funny. Oh my god. Just one person. But it's not that deep. It's definitely not that deep. It's definitely just funny. They didn't even have that family members on there. So
you know, like Mr. Noor's always chasing it, Mr. Charles always chasing it.
If they was offended, they would have been like, go ahead. Instagram.
That's a really funny vibe. But this is the type of stuff that is on it. Like, it's literally just like. I don't speak. I don't like. It's literally just with random stuff.
I see.
Miss Smith has one. Mr. Beamer has one. Mr. Mormon.
I know about Jessup's and Estradas.
Those are hilarious too. I think
Okay, moving on. So on your test from yesterday, number 1, if you want the answers, some of these you may see again at some point in the future. All right, number 1, D, as in dog. I will not repeat myself. So if you want them, you need to pay attention or ask a classmate. 1, D as in dog. 2, C as in cat. 3. Oh, that was what I corrected. Sorry. That was A. Sorry, that was A. We corrected that one. That was A. 3 is A. 4 is C as in cat. 5 is C as in cat. 6 is C. 7 is C. 8 is A. 9 is A. 10 is A. No, I do not put these in any particular order. It's best fit based on where they fit on the test. 11 is C. 12 is C. 13 is D as in dog. 14 is D as in dog. 15, B as in boy. 16, C as in cat. 17, D as in dog. 18, B as in boy. And 19 is D as in dog.
so glad.
No, it shouldn't. No.
Okay?
Just like to give one more shout out. Don't mean to forget this person. He has been instrumental in helping us as we've worked through Nobels. Mr. Mormon and his physical education classes have been working in the office, running after students as parents come in. We are so thankful for him lending us his students, and I just want to say we don't need you anymore, so don't come back to the front office.
Hi, and it doesn't stop there. Juniors, this is extremely important. Saturday, you have the ACT boot camp from
That's tomorrow.
10 o'clock a.m. to 2:15 p.m. All 11th graders are required to take the ACT during school next week.
Find your homework
You
while
will be
she's
taking
talking.
it either on the 20th or the 21st, which is Wednesday and Thursday. I have sent out a schedule to your teachers as far as pre-information. You'll be filling out some information before the test with me on Monday in the Media Center. So it's very important that you're here on Monday to complete that pre-information. And also, please be here on your test date, either the 20th or the 21st, which is posted throughout the school. Please see me if you have any questions. Thank you.
We're keeping this on that.
Mm-hmm. Yep. I don't need them. I'll make out a new one the next time I have to do it.
Wait, so you said those are bonus points?
Those of you who scored 75 or higher will get bonus points on the next test.
How many did you have?
I haven't decided yet.
Oh,
But if you scored less than 75, you will not get anything. It will not be more than 5 points on the next test. So it'll probably be if you scored like, let's just say like 90 or higher, you might get 5 points. But if you scored less than 75, I know I won't give anything. You can figure out what you made by taking the number correct over 19, divide and multiply by 100. So if you got 17 right over 19 and multiply by 100. So an 89.47 would be an 89. If it was an 89.9, it'd round to a 90.
Is that one question? The 47 one count?
So what?
So should you divide it by 18?
So if the one question, I went back and rescanned them. If number 3, I corrected that. I went back and rescanned it. So number 3 or 2 or whatever one we corrected, that did not count against you. I rescanned that with the correct answer. So the average is now, I think it was a 73 now, instead of a 65 or 67, whatever it was. It's a 73 now. All right, so there's the one, so I don't have to call out the back side of the homework, so you can check your answers, and then I'll call out the front side of the map. And like I said, the last review sheet's on naming, and I'll give it today for Monday. Are we done, or do I need to wait a little longer? Most of these are multiple choice on the test. Now, don't forget things like the parts of the atom, the mass, the charge, those kinds of things will also be on the test, not to mention questions like isotopes, like the first question 3 or so on the CFA. All right, we okay on these? Any questions on anything that's on there? Anything bothering us on this part homework? No? So we're okay on these kind of questions. Okay. So, let's see if I can find the one that goes with the answers to that. Now, these are probably not done with significant digits, but and the answers. Because I just usually round for significant digits in my head when I call them out. They look pretty close.
Have to put,
Yes, they don't have to be exact. I can probably make it bigger.
Wait.
Is that better? How about that? All right, we good with the top? Can I slide it up a little more? Can I go up a little more? Not that far yet.
Can you go over number?
Mm-hmm.
Right. Yes.
What's
Is number 10 30?
number 10 is 30, 11 is 60, 12 is 33, and 13 is 55.
I think
I told you it was cesium yesterday.
Oh, I didn't hear that. Yeah, I thought 32. But you know, it's supposed to be C. No, you have to use. I probably do that. go number 5. Oh, okay.
All right, so I need to do which one?
8 and 5.
8 and 5. All right, so 5 says find the mass, and you have 2.78 times 10 to the 28 atoms. All right, so we have atoms, and we're going to grams. So atoms, put moles on the top. How's that? No, all the letters. All right, so moles is on top, so what goes on the bottom? Moles. And from moles, we can go to grams. So what goes beside moles? 1. What always goes beside atoms? Avogadro's number. And then beside grams, we need the mass. So what element did I have there? Strontium. Strontium is 87.6. And I only wrote the first decimal place on my paper. So then you'd multiply and divide. What did I have in number 5? Now, I had a large number, so I put mine in scientific notation. You may not have put yours in scientific notation. But like I said yesterday, once you, yes, sir? Real cycling? Go right ahead. And there's one in the back if you want to get that one too. Once you pass the 1,000 place, you really should put it in scientific notation. That's what it's designed for.
I thought I got that answer. I don't know why I thought I did.
Oh, so you just wanted me to work it because I need the practice?
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. So which other one did I need to do? Somebody asked for?
8.
8. Did y'all really get the answer, or did y'all just need me to practice it again?
I really didn't get the right answer.
All right. So 7.48 moles. So what goes on the bottom?
Number is this?
8. So what goes on the bottom? Moles. And it said find what in the question? Grams. So we're putting grams on top. So it goes beside moles.
1.
And beside grams, we need the mass on the periodic table, right? So it said gallium. And so gallium is Ga, which is number 31 up there. So what mass?
Supposed to round.
You can round.
Because I rounded and I got 523.
You made me work a question that you got right.
No, but you got 521. So like I was like 2 numbers off.
It's all right.
Okay, people. If I write that and you write that tomorrow on the test, or Tuesday on the test.
Okay. Are you positive?
Yes. I'm positive. Positive. All right. Are you done making me practice problems y'all got right? Fabulous. Yes, but I didn't need the practice. All right. So while I'm thinking about it so I don't forget, here's your last review sheet for the test. Like I said, the mouth is probably the second most weighted part of the test. I'll make you see it. All right. The naming is, if you want the biggest chunk of the points on the test, it comes from naming. I think there are 20 or 22 questions at 2 points each. So that's 44 points for the test. So it's the biggest chunk of the test in terms of points. Okay? There is no partial credit on it unless you reduce. Okay? If you forget to reduce, I'll give you 1 of your 2 points. But that's it. If you forget parentheses, it's wrong. If you put in the wrong oxidation number, it's wrong. If you put in a negative sign and forget to take it out, it's wrong. Okay? You put in the wrong subscript. Put in a prefix that doesn't belong there. No. You forget and write INE instead of IDE. Don't make those kind of mistakes, guys. It doesn't take an hour and a half to take the test. So double check yourself. Yeah. It doesn't. If I'd have known we weren't having the pep rally today, we'd have probably still tested today. But
Email does. I just like. Is this notes?
yep, we're doing something new. All right. So the topics we're doing today and we're doing on Monday are not on the test. So those of you who need to mark those things in your notes, so you know what to go back and look at on Monday night, you need to mark that. So the rest of class today and Monday, we are not doing stuff that's on the test. But we're not going to review the rest of class today and Monday for the test. Okay?
What unit is this called? Unit 3?
Yeah, call it Unit 3. I don't have a name for it. It's technically stoichiometry and chemical reactions. But, okay.
What was this? Are we gonna need our sheets?
You're going to need a periodic table for today. You need a calculator and a periodic table. That's homework for your study for your test.
Bro, you know how I just showed you Mr. Shop's page? They're all deleted now. Because I just opened my phone and it was deleted.
I'm not surprised.
That's really funny.
You open your phone.
I know, I wouldn't do that in class.
Right.
Well, apparently someone doesn't want to be investigated by the police, which is wise.
That's really funny though, because now Miss Curry's gonna call the police. She's like, look at these Instagram pages you guys put up. They're all deleted now.
She should have said that. You
I
can
think that might be like a.
Right.
Never really deleted.
I can virtually guarantee you that was a threat that was made to get the pages taken down. And clearly it worked.
Right, she's not about to sit there. That's all I'm gonna do. She's like,
Yeah.
the Chloe's I don't even listen to her no more.
So, if we talk about percent composition, this is one of those that's like formula math. It's one of those that I will tell you is really easy, and y'all will all say I'm lying to you, and I'm not.
Yes, you are.
No, I'm not. All right? Percent composition is like finding the percent of an element in a compound. Now, the reason I tell you that it's easy is because it works just like things you've already learned how to do in math class. For example, if I said that we wanted to find the percent males in room 29, and by the way, we're room 29 in case you don't know that. All right, what information would we need to find the percent males in this room?
How many males there are, how many females there are, how many overall students there are.
Okay, that's what we need. We need the number of males and the number of students.
Quick question.
Yeah.
Was the heat versus champ notes the start of unit 2?
That was the end of, that was getting warm to the end of unit 1. Start of unit 2 was where we started atomic structure. And where atomic structure is, and that's the start of unit 2. All right. So, if we count the number of males, we have how many?
Like 3.
Because we're like heavy female in this room.
4 or 5.
Okay, I knew we didn't have many. We're a little better than Miss Thornhill's one class because she's got an entire room of females. Oh, we have 6?
Yeah.
Okay, so we're 6. All right, and we have how many total people?
Well, you know the answer.
28. All right, now if we're finding a percent and we divide, what one other step do we have to do? Multiply it by 100. Okay? You guys have learned to do this in math class, probably best guess in middle school. Okay? But you've been doing it for a while. Now, the percent composition of a compound works the exact same way. All right? So if we want to find the percent composition of an element in a compound, we're just going to take an easy one. Let's say we want to do this for calcium chloride. All right? What do you think we would have to know? Thinking about the same things we did for the percent males in the room. What things about the compound do you think we'd have to know to find the percent of calcium and the percent of chlorine in the compound? All right, the mass of what? All right, so we need to know the mass of each element, the total of what? The total mass of what? Of the compound. All right? And we need the total mass of the compound. Okay? So the mass of each element is like the number of males, and the mass of the compound is like the total number of students. Now, what process that we've learned to do will get us that information the fastest?
Formula mass.
Formula mass.
Oh.
We're just going to add up the formula mass, and we'll have everything we need right there in that process. Okay? Then we'll just pick out the pieces we need and do this right there. Okay? I'm not turning it yet. I see you're still writing.
Thank you.
What's formula mass? Somebody tell Kevin what formula mass is. Anybody remember?
It's like the atomic, how many numbers it has times the atomic mass.
Yes, it's the number of atoms times the formula or atomic mass. So take your subscripts and multiply by the mass on the periodic table and add it up. Does that ring a bell, Kevin? Yeah? Okay. All right. So if we take calcium chloride, which was our example, all right, how many calciums do we have? How many chlorines do we have? So, what's my atomic mass of calcium?
40.08.
Okay. What is my atomic mass of chlorine?
35.45. Well, 35.45.
All right, so we get 40.08. We get 70.9. And then we need to add that together, which is going to give me 8, 9, 0, and 11. If I added that up right, I think I did.
Quick math.
All right, so now we want to find the percent composition. Well, based on what we did just a second ago, you guys said we would take the mass of the element over the mass of the compound, and we're going to multiply by 100. Okay? So, how many elements do we have? So we got to do it for two different elements. We're going to have two answers. So, we'll do calcium first since it's the first one in the compound. All right, what is the mass of calcium?
40.0.
Okay, so 40.08 over, what's the mass of the compound?
110.98.
Okay, and then times 100. So when we do the percent of chlorine, what is its mass?
What? Oh.
All right, Karen said 35.45, and then she said 70.9. So she changed her answer. Okay, why did you say 70.9? There's two of them, okay? So when you look at chlorine, you have to make sure that you take the 70.9 because there's two chlorines. Does that make sense to everybody?
Yes.
You got to take the total mass of the chlorine. All right, and then you say times 100. Now, when we finish calculating this, what do you think the percent should add up to be once we get their answers? Yeah. Now, if you add them up and you get like 99.9, do I expect you to chase down that 0.1%? No. Not that OCD.
You will get Marshall's credit.
Oh my God.
Well,
Yeah.
You really think that big label is required?
It's required. Which code? Yes. Okay.
I know it's nice to get add up two and then put it over 110.
Well, like, cause like, add them and divide them first, And then we'll come back. Like do the 40 or 120 and then the 70 or 110. And then multiply those. After you get it then.
No. You need two separate answers.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Each element is going to have a separate answer.
Oh.
Okay? Because in this case, I'm asking for the percent of both elements. But let's say in a multiple choice question, I might just say, what is the percent of chlorine? And I may not ask for both percentages. Okay?
Yeah, I got 99.99.
Happens all the time. So, because this was the question that I gave you, all right? Are there any significant digits there?
No.
No. You can round your answer to 36, 36.1, 36.11. It doesn't matter how you round your answer, okay? The unit on this is percent, by the way. All right, so when you get this answer, you can write it as 64, which I can do that math in my head, or 63.88, or 63.8, or some people might have rounded to 63.9, okay? Because there's no significant digits, do I care how you chose to round that? No, okay? Questions about that? You think you can do it on your own?
Yeah.
Okay. Yes, you can.
We're going to continue the line.
Really?
I don't know about you. Okay, we don't care about this house.
Ah. All right, you're going to find the percents of all three of them. So I want you to find the percent of aluminum, sulfur, and oxygen. You're finding the percent of all three. I'm not giving you 15 minutes.
I like Kathleen.
What's your all black?
Love Justin.
What's your all black?
What's all black?
Where is it?
My all black. This is as black as I get.
Ooh.
Take that.
Huh?
Yeah.
I don't know what you want me to say.
No. That's for you. Where'd you go?
Yes.
No, you too late.
I mean, they had us eating a pizza.
I'm just eating it.
Yeah, please don't mess with her before she spills it. That stuff will be sticky for days.
I gotta go get one, because I know like people sent them to me.
You didn't get it yesterday for 4th period?
No, because I did internship, so I have to go pick them up.
Oh, okay.
I got one in the house.
I have a question.
Yes, what's the question?
My question is about,
Good.
does this two go to aluminum?
Yes, that should go to the aluminum. So there'd be 2 aluminum.
Okay.
My whole circle were in the school, but I want these pigs to fit in the
Anybody need my help?
No, I will. Give me 1 second. And the whole.
Actually, I know.
So yeah, they were really. I just don't even know where. So, well, or not start. That's always my biggest problem.
You gotta add up the mass of the whole compound. So do the formula mass. Break up the compound and figure out the mass, like we did. That's right here.
Yeah, let's
Yes.
Whoa.
No, that's right.
And the masses are these numbers, right?
Yes. Yes, because I didn't specify just fine like salt. Okay, sometimes I will say just fine salt. If I don't, you won't. There's a reason I have a copy of people in this.
Look.
I'll wait. Where's the water?
Anybody else, question?
We're supposed to get to that part.
I'm just asking for the answers of those
Give
three.
me a minute. Like this, do two more? Or are you looking for like the answer?
I'm looking like for the answer.
Okay, the answer.
There should be a button where it says add up all answers on the screen. I just.
Appreciate it. Yes, unit is just percent.
Oh, I see. I didn't want to.
You ain't gonna work.
She said, I'm in.
I told them I'm not coming in.
No, I told them. I told them when I started.
I said, I gotta take my mom to the hospital, so I'm not coming.
I said, I
You gotta be like, you want to bring some out fruit?
No, I don't.
They were like, you gotta bring it out.
Yeah, that's what you should have just had my game.
Why didn't somebody work on me? Well, y'all did not see me. Y'all see me at the hospital. Online.
Between the
Are you finished?
I don't know if it's
A lobby or outside, because I just want everyone that's in all black.
take a picture.
Because so that everyone's going to be right there. So
Where is it gonna be at?
the lobby.
Who's going?
Right, when?
What are you doing?
When the special.
Alright, we finished. Alright. So what answer did we get for aluminum? Somewhere around 16.
Yeah.
Now, you might have 15 point something.
Yeah.
I mean,
I'm just gonna
Oh,
round
I
it
got
here.
15.76.
You
What?
round
Alright.
I'm just gonna round it.
Now, if you're Madison, you said I'm rounding to the nearest whole number. There's nothing wrong with that because again, does this question have significant digits? No. Now, if you're Rosanna over there and she wrote 15.76, there's nothing wrong with that answer either. Our answers are not going to agree here. So when I say around 16, our answers are good, right?
Yeah.
All right, so what did you get for sulfur?
28.
Somewhere around 28. And the last one for oxygen is?
56.
Somewhere around 56. Everybody good with percent? All right, let's talk empirical formulas.
We have 20 minutes.
It's a new problem. For this one, I have notes for that will make you not have to read my crappy handwriting.
Oh, got it.
get 156? I need to have 156 of a bro.
I didn't say 156, I said 56. That's why.
That's no problem.
I don't know.
All right. So for my title queen over there, your title is empirical formula.
Like different notes.
It's just another type of math problem we're going to learn how to find.
We not too much math. Just
This.
The entire course is not math. I'm positive. After we finish equations, we'll do about 4 days worth of math, and then we will do 4 weeks of no math. We're doing a lot of math part first. Yes. Which is why I told Herman when he moved, I teach this completely backwards for most chemistry teachers. Now, an empirical formula is also known as the simplest formula. Okay? Annabelle, pay attention. It's a formula in lowest terms.
what does that mean?
What does it mean in math class? The subscripts cannot be reduced. So just like in math class, where you have fractions that are in lowest terms and cannot be reduced, we have formulas in chemistry class that have subscripts that cannot be reduced. Okay? So if we have something like C2O4 on the test Tuesday, what are you going to do to it?
We gotta reduce it.
Okay, so what will it reduce into?
CO2.
All right. So CO2 is the empirical formula. C2O4 that we'll talk about on Monday is the molecular formula. Okay? CO2 is in lowest terms because can you reduce something that has a 1 and a 2 any lower than it already is?
No.
No. Okay? It's already in lowest terms. It cannot go any lower than it is. Now, sometimes you have formulas like CaCl2. Can that be reduced any lower? No. It's already in lowest terms. Okay? So it is the empirical formula already. A lot of the formulas that we write are already the empirical formula. You can't make them any lower. Now, some trip people up though. Okay? People look at things like this and they glance at it quickly and they think, oh yeah, I need to reduce that. And you can't. Why? That's right. Okay? So when you look at this, you have to recognize that the sulfur has a subscript of what on it?
1.
A 1. And in order to reduce, all of the subscripts have to reduce. Okay? Not all subscripts. I ran out of room there. Subscripts can reduce. Okay? So if they can't all reduce, can I reduce just the 2 and just the 4? No. So Na2SO4 is already in lowest terms also. Okay? So it's also the empirical formula. You can only reduce if all of the subscripts will reduce by the same number. Does that make sense? Yes? Okay. Is everybody caught up, or do I need to wait on somebody? We there? All right, so we're going to talk about steps to write. It's not hard. Not a lot of writing either. All right. So the steps to find an empirical formula. These are math steps that we're going to do today and Monday. And then you're going to do a lab. Well, it's a paper lab. Don't get excited. There's a lab grade on Wednesday.
I thought we only had to see if it was reduced or not.
Oh, no. That's just the concept behind it. Now you got to calculate it. All right. So we have to change percent to grams. Now, some problems you won't have to do this because they just give you the information in grams. Unfortunately, not all of the problems give you the information in grams. So sometimes you're going to have to change percent to grams. Now, once you have grams, we can't do anything with grams, so we have to do step 2. We have to change all the grams to moles. You need help over here.
Oh, no, I got it.
You sure? All right, we have to change grams to moles. Every conversion and every problem we do all year long has to be done in moles. We don't do anything in grams. Why do we learn about moles?
Good question.
Because everything has to be done in grams. We'll still be converting to moles.
Wait, what? You just said everything has to be done in moles.
That's right. So in June, we'll still be changing things to moles.
But you said everything has to be done in grams.
Oh, I did say that?
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't mean to say that. Thank you. Has to be done in moles. Has to be done in moles. All right. So here's the part that looks really complicated, but it's not. It's like math class. So if you divide the left side of the reaction by 5, we have to do the right side. Divide by 5. So that's what I'm saying in number 3. So you divide the smallest number of moles by itself. So if you divide the smallest number of moles by itself, what do you have to do the other ones? You have to divide it by the smallest number. So we're dividing the smallest number of moles by itself and all other numbers of moles by that smallest number. So all the numbers of moles you found have to be divided by the smallest number
Of moles.
I keep thinking of rats.
I always
The
do.
math teacher come in here and like rephrase that for you because that's a whole confusion.
Yeah.
Are you an example? What's the thing like called with the guinea pigs?
No, I'm just going to leave the rules up there and move on to the next topic. I'm not going to show you any examples, and then I'm going to put it on the test and give you all F's. Because it makes me happy that way.
Oh, yeah, no worries.
All right. And the last step is that we write the formula. Because ideally, when we do step 3, we're going to have whole numbers when we're done.
And what if we don't?
Then I'm going to teach you how to get a whole number.
Do we have to do significant digits with this?
No, because you're writing a formula. Like, you're going to have like CA, CL2. You're not getting a numerical answer. We're writing an empirical formula. You're writing something like CO2. You're finding the subscripts. This dividing and finding a number is finding the subscripts. All right, write that down and I'll show you. We can do one before we leave. We've got 11 minutes. We should be able to do one before the bell.
Rosanna didn't get
You don't get up till 12. You might be able to do one. Yes.
Hey, Rosanna didn't get all the steps. She didn't go back.
Well, no, she doesn't.
Oh.
Thank you, Raquel.
Are you gonna give us one right?
Stop.
Why do you think I'm standing here with my hands in my pockets?
They might have you low.
There's this law, how do I start?
Here, though.
I'm being patient over here, Kevin, with my hands in my pockets, waiting on people to write. You know, I realize we're only on like day 18, but there's a distinct pattern to the way I do things with standing and pausing while y'all write the question down. Then I work it. When have I ever put a question on the board that I have not walked through at least 2 examples and expected y'all to work unless it was super easy and we only did 1 example?
Every day.
So are we kind of doing like the opposite of what we just did with making it?
Yes, we're going backwards. Very good.
That's not how stickers done. I was eating it, but I've been done with it for a long time, so I don't know how that happened.
Okay. Do you need a wipe? Okay. So far over there, we've smeared chocolate all over the place and done coffee on the floor.
I apologize.
It wasn't all of it.
I'm just waiting on Nylasia over there to spill sugar over the floor now to make it super sticky on the left side of the room.
We just got Sarah's room for you.
Hurricane third.
Maybe they'll give you a new floor.
I already got a new floor
We make it over there.
3 years ago. This was literally stripped to the cement walls, the cement floor, and they even took the ceiling out.
What?
There was nothing left in this room.
Why?
It was remodeled.
Take me out.
I didn't. They did it over the summer. The last day of school, they literally ripped everything out of this room.
Where are you in?
All right, so how do we do the question? Number one said to change percent to grams. So how do we change percent to
You
grams?
make a chart.
Nope, easier than that.
You divide something.
What? Easier than that.
Right. Add
Just
up.
write it. Just write it.
Exactly.
Just write it.
That's all we do, Madison. We just change percent to grams. We just write it. All right?
Wow.
So 32.38 grams of sodium. 22.65 grams of sulfur. And 44.99 grams of oxygen. We can do this because if we add those percentages together, what do they equal?
100.
So we're going to assume this is a 100-gram sample. Okay? That's all we're going to do. It's a 100-gram sample, so we're changing percent to grams. So we're on step 2. What was step 2?
Convert grams to
We all know how to change grams to moles. We have a test on it Tuesday. So how do we change grams to moles? So we're going to make 3 charts.
For each one?
For each one. So what has to go on the bottom? So I'm going to put G on the bottom. What has to go on top? What do we all know has to go beside moles? All right, just for the sake of time, sodium has a mass of 23, sulfur's 32, oxygen is 16.
I told you had it memorized.
I don't have the whole chart memorized
You have it remember?
Why should it be like 2
Oh, yeah.
elements? She doesn't know.
Yeah. Like,
because more than 2.
California.
oh, God. 3.
Albert Einstein.
Now, notice when I write down the moles, I took it out several decimal places. I did not round off to just a couple. All right, so there's step 2. We've changed everything to moles. All right. Step 3 is to do what?
Divide.
Divide by the what?
Smallest number of moles by itself.
All right, so which number up there is the smallest?
That's what you do.
All right, so 0.708 is the smallest. So I'm going to divide by 0.7078. And what do I get when I do that?
1.
Okay. Now, like in math class, if I divide that one by 0.7078, I got to do all of them by that. So I'm going to divide here by 0.7078. By 0.7078.
This is just BS. Just 1 answer.
You know, you whine an awful lot. In case somebody's ever told you that. 1.98. 3.96. All right, so what is 1.98 the same as? Same as 2. All right, 3.96 is the same as?
4.
4. So my formula is the 2 came from what element? Na. So Na has a subscript of 2. The 1 came from sulfur. So sulfur has a subscript of 1. And I only wrote that there for instructional purposes. Daggone it, it just rebooted. The O, which was the last thing down here in the corner, had a 4, and the 4 went with the O, so it would have been O4. Okay? That's your answer. Na2SO4. So to answer, hush for a second. So to answer Linda's question from a minute ago, sit down. Would this have significant digits? No, because you're not finding a numerical answer, you're finding a formula. Now, do we have homework this weekend?
Yes.
Your homework is the naming sheet to practice for the test. Yes, all of it. We will do empirical and molecular formulas on Monday and possibly even start balancing equations on Monday. Okay? If you will, put your calculators up. We should have an actual bell today to ring for the MC. The hard drive is going. Yep, that's exactly what happened.